Hi, guys. Welcome back. Today, we're going to continue talking about connections. So, we've talked a lot about them so far. We said that connections are when you're reading and you're reminded of something, or it helps you to remember when something happened, or when you think, oh, that's kind of the same as. Well, so far, we've focused on one kind of connections, pretty much to where you're thinking about your life. Well, today, we're going to start learning that there are actually three different kinds of connections. So the first kind is what we've already been talking about, and those are text to self connections. So I want you to think for a second. When I say the word self, what do you think of? Right. You're probably saying, well, duh, Mrs. Wood. When I think of self, I think about me. Self means me. And that's correct. When you think about yourself or we say the word self, we're talking about a connection made to you, made to your life. So, like I said, this is most of the connections that we've been making so far. Text is just a fancy word for saying book or any kind of writing. So, a text to self just means when you take writing in a book, a poem, any type of thing like that, and make a connection to you. So, today we're going to be reading a book called Fireflies. And as we read, you're going to be listening so that you can make connections to you. So, I'm going to share my screen now so that you can see. We're going to listen to someone else read the book, and then I will be stopping to tell you what kind of connections I made. So, first, I want to show you what you're going to get out from your packet. So today you need to find the paper in your packet that looks like this. So you should be in the week 2, day 3 packet, and you should have a page that looks like this. It says text to self connections. Now you're not going to fill this out while we read, but I want you to be aware of it because you're going to need it when we're done. And this is also the page that I will be filling out as we read this story today. So listen as we read this book, Fireflies. The story and the pictures were written by Julie Brinklow.
Fireflies by Julie Brinklow. On a summer evening, I looked up from dinner through the open window to the backyard. It was really dark. My treehouse was a black shape of a slate in a window of the land. But something flickered there. No. I looked, and it was gone. I flickered it again. Over on the fence. Fireflies. Don't let your dinner get cold, Mama said. I crept away and curled the towels against my neck. Please lay around the fireflies. Mama said, and Daddy nodded. Brilliant, I said. I ran from the table, down to the cellar, to find a home. I knew where to look, behind the stairs. The drawers were dusty, and I polished one, clean on my shirt, but I ran back up 2 styles at a time. There was a woman, so I can breathe. And as quietly as I could, so she wouldn't catch my dinner there, I poked holes in the tip of the hole with Mama said.
All right. So far we've read this book and it's called Fireflies. Now, before we get going, I want you to think because you might know fireflies as something different. So fireflies are also lightning bugs. Maybe that's what you call them. I know where I grew up in northern Ohio, that's what we call them. We're lightning bugs. But they're the little bugs that they kind of have that glow on their butt and they glow at nighttime. And so he had saw them lighting up out in the backyard and he wanted to go catch them. Well, when I read this story and I saw him doing that, it reminded of me of when I was little. Because when I was little, my sister and I loved to catch bugs. We loved to catch lightning bugs, and we also loved to catch just regular bugs. Sometimes we would catch ladybugs or we would catch ants, all sorts of little bugs. Now, I know some of you are saying, oh, that's so gross. So you might not be making that same connection. But for me, I loved to catch bugs when I was little. So I'm feeling just like this little boy. And I can understand when it said he forked his food into his mouth, that meant he was going really fast. He was so excited to get to the bugs. And that's how I was. So I'm going to show you on my connection sheet how I made a connection to this story. So when I was reading here, up at the top, it says, when I read about this, so when I read about how the little boy was getting a jar ready to catch fireflies, I thought of this. I thought of how I used to try and catch bugs too. I would punch holes in my box to keep them in, but they died. So what I did here was I made a text to self connection. Up on the top, it shows you what the text said. The little boy was getting a jar ready to catch fireflies. On the bottom, it's telling you what happened in my life. I used to try and catch bugs too, and I would punch holes in the box to keep them in, but my bugs died. And so, what you're going to do today as you're reading, you can choose any book that you have at home. It can be one that we sent in your packet, or it could be a book you already had. Or if you really want to see how this book ends, it'll be available over on your agenda down on the right as one of the choices for you for a brain break. It'll just say reading and fireflies. So if you want to find that, you can click on that and you could read this book and you could write your own connection. So what I want you to do today is on this sheet, I want you to add the title up at the top up here where it says fireflies. Write the title of the book you read. In this first box, you can either draw a picture or write words like I did and tell me what you read in the book. And then down at the bottom, what it made you think of in your own life. So you're going to use that text to self connection sheet to make those connections. Then when you're finished, you'll notice on yours, there's a little picture of a camera. That means that you are going to upload this to Dojo. So you will log into your Student Dojo account for your teacher, find the activity that says text to self connections, or it might say reading, whatever your teacher named it, find that. Take a picture and upload this so your teacher and I can both see what connections you're making. I can't wait to see all the connections you're making and how they are helping you understand the stories you read. Make sure you check back tomorrow because we're going to find out about the second kind of connections. See you later, guys.